Say, have you ever thought to yourself, I need something for my hands to do? Well, might I suggest a video game? And for most, the gateway into that is none other than the video game controller.
There's too much.
All of these buttons? F*** them. I want that one. There's a topic I've heard many on the internet are too scared to cover, but I don't understand why. It's simply just a button. The greatest button of all time, that is. The 12th letter of the alphabet, or L, derives from the Greek symbol lambda, and makes sounds such as ult. But out of all names they could have possibly given the button, why the L button? Oh! This button would normally see itself placed on the top left of almost all controllers it appears on, including since when it was in its infancy. The history of the L button is a long and interesting one, and it all started at the peak of the resurgence of video games. During the 4th generation of consoles, manufacturers realized their controllers being so simple, while being easy to use, means that it's very restrictive on how many actions can be mapped to buttons. So considering almost all controllers were just... more buttons needed to be introduced to add a complexity that wasn't previously possible. And who was brave enough to do that but the makers of the Wii Speak? Introducing the L button, and its less cool brother, the R button, but nobody gives a shit about that one. This was introduced to be used in many games, such as allowing you to spin jump in Super Mario World, or more precisely aim in Super Metroid. Nintendo apparently did such a good job that everyone decided it was a good idea to copy their homework.
And on this episode of Inventing New Sentences, we have... Chris.
Thanks, Sega. Sega stole what Nintendo did by including an L button on their next controller when developing the Sega Saturn. This was useful in games such as... were there games on this thing? Oh shit, Nights into Dreams was for the Saturn? What's better than one L button? Jesus. Sony, when developing their first consumer console, the PlayStation, had one goal in mind. Improve on the L button. And improve on it, they did. Nintendo's failed partner not only had an L button, but they had two. Now called L1 and L2, this new set of multiple L buttons was a revolutionary idea, and almost all future generations of console had dual L buttons as a standard for their controller. Why? Yeah, Nintendo never really liked to stick to tradition, even their own. And while other companies were developing on the L button further, Nintendo decided to completely omit it for their next controller. This is probably one of the many factors that led to Nintendo's next console failing so hard. Before Nintendo could make a fool of themselves, the people who decided to make a controller as a tumor also pioneered the technology to make the L button feel better than ever. Analog is the new way to go. Now L buttons act more of a slider than a single on or off button, and these are normally paired with the old school L buttons as well, keeping the dual format that Sony introduced so long ago. This is truly the pinnacle of the L button. This would see use in many types of games, and especially racing games, to make stopping feel much more immersive than it was before. But you may have noticed that I've neglected to mention one type of L button, one that sees far more use than any of the others. And what does this one allow me to do? Write this script.